all around the time when Aaliyah died,
Yeah.
and Beyonce's solo career was struggling. Jam on your phone now. That's some bullshit ass record. From the Austin Powers shit, it was some of the worst shit ever. They were having a hard time taking her solo.
Nicki Minaj just shook the internet again, and this time she went way past the usual rumors. She's going straight for the top. After months of hinting at secret children and shady celebrity party talk, she's now setting her sights on Beyoncé. Word is, she's implying, like some have hinted before, that there could be connections tying Queen Bee to the shadowy circles Nicki has been calling out. And now she's bringing the late Aaliyah into the conversation. Reports circulating online claim the situation is way deeper than fans imagined. Some allege that Aaliyah wanted out of Hollywood completely, exhausted by industry pressure and behind-the-scenes control. Commentators have linked these claims to serious accusations other celebrities are currently facing in court, including alleged abuse of power and illegal activity. Even Jay-Z's name has been brought up, and now Nicki is suggesting Beyoncé may have known more than the public was ever told. Fans are confused about how the apparent fallout between Nicki and the Carters even started. For years, everything seemed respectful. Beyoncé publicly acknowledged Nicki's birthday, celebrated the birth of her son in 2020, and even sent a handwritten note welcoming her into motherhood. At the time, there were no signs of tension. The friendly energy continued when the Carters congratulated Nicki on her Vanguard Award at the 2022 MTV VMAs. Even in July 2023, Beyoncé reportedly sent Nicki pink Ivy Park items to celebrate her song on the Barbie movie soundtrack. That's why fans were stunned when Nicki suddenly started publicly calling out Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Things escalated when she appeared to diss Beyoncé in a recent track, rapping, "They said, 'Why can't you be?' Say, 'Daddy wasn't no businessman, Mama wasn't no business owner. What an idiot, you can't be me, I'm already it.'" That line immediately had listeners questioning who it was aimed at. Clearly, something shifted. Nicki's recent comments about the Carters feel deliberate and personal. She intensified the conversation with a rant alleging dark behavior and exploitation in Hollywood. She suggested that powerful people protect each other behind closed doors, though no proof was presented. Even so, the claims sparked widespread debate online, leaving fans divided on whether this is reckless talk or a potential exposé waiting to happen. Things went further when Nicki shared old photos of Jay-Z posing with Aaliyah and Beyoncé from 1996 and 1997. Over the images, she highlighted their ages at the time and wrote, "Are people really understanding that some powerful figures have allegedly harmed young people to gain and maintain power?" She followed up with a warning-filled message accusing the industry of protecting itself and silencing anyone who speaks out. Nicki hinted she's been holding back information for years and that it might finally be time to tell her own story. While watching everything unfold behind the scenes, Nicki announced she wouldn't be releasing new music until her contract situation was renegotiated, claiming sabotage tied to industry politics and chart manipulation. According to her, these issues connect to larger power structures she believes are finally being exposed. In another post, Nicki shared a photo of Jay-Z and Aaliyah, accusing him of inappropriate behavior. Her wording sparked immediate backlash. She followed up with a tweet asking people to imagine how the public would react today if a grown rapper were seen being overly physical with a teenager in public, implying that back then, media protection shaped public perception and standards were ignored. Then Nicki tied what she knows directly to the timing of Aaliyah's tragic passing, which occurred while Beyoncé was reportedly struggling to break out as a solo artist. For years, conspiracy theories have circulated, suggesting Beyoncé's rise involved clearing competition, and Nicki echoed those rumors, though no evidence was presented. She claims industry insiders knew more than the public realized, suggesting Beyoncé may have been aware, and powerful figures worked behind the scenes to control outcomes. According to Nicki, people tied to Jay-Z's inner circle have documentation comparing how Aaliyah was treated in the 1990s versus how Beyoncé's career was structured. She also hinted that the same individuals who stayed quiet during other major scandals were involved in shaping today's superstar hierarchy. As she put it, the public has only been shown a carefully cleaned version of pop history, while the darker details were buried to protect reputations. This isn't the first time Nicki has questioned Jay-Z's role. During past controversies with other major artists, she accused him and his former streaming platform of misleading her and trying to silence her with money, claiming they spread false narratives while diverting attention from deeper industry connections. Whether or not her claims hold weight, her message has been consistent. The truth has been deliberately hidden, and she's no longer willing to play along. Nicki also touched on her work with R. Kelly, noting they made countless records together and shared a lot in common with Aaliyah. Then she shifted attention toward Diddy, posting on X that certain people were keeping the spotlight on her to avoid questions about serious accusations facing their close friends. She highlighted how conversations suddenly pivoted to focus on her, while longtime industry figures and commentators avoided other names. Her question was simple. Why the focus on her when bigger names are quietly being shielded? In another post, Nicki questioned whether these same insiders were aware of troubling situations involving Aaliyah and Foxy Brown during R. Kelly video shoots, further fueling the conversation. Nicki also raised unanswered questions around Kim Porter and Cassie, pointing out that too many insiders stayed silent back then and now act shocked while ignoring their own proximity to everything happening at the time. She went further, accusing Jay-Z and his associates of moving like a tight inner circle that protected its own. Nicki challenged them to finally speak up instead of letting rumors swirl around her name. She even referenced her husband, questioning why public outrage was laser-focused on a situation involving a teenager from years ago, while far more serious allegations involving adults and long-term misconduct were largely ignored. According to Nicki, if people are told they can never move past something that happened at 15, the same accountability should apply to grown adults who stayed silent for decades. She argued that selective outrage exists to protect powerful people, while scapegoating those who refuse to play along. When discussing this conduct, Nicki clarified she was referring to long-standing industry relationships, pointing out that Diddy, R. Kelly, and Jay-Z were far from distant acquaintances. They collaborated, partied together, publicly praised each other, and helped shape the sound and culture of the late 1990s and early 2000s. In her view, those connections matter when examining who knew what and when. Then Nicki shifted focus to Aaliyah, a young, gifted, and highly respected performer who became an unspoken link between multiple powerful figures. Based on long-running rumors and insider chatter, she suggested Aaliyah saw how these men operated, who was protected, and what behavior was ignored behind closed doors. She reminded people that Aaliyah attended high-profile industry parties hosted by Diddy. Photos from that era show her in rooms filled with influential executives and artists. One image in particular from a 4th of July party in 2000 features Aaliyah alongside Damon Dash, Jay-Z, Diddy, and J-Lo. For Nicki, those images raise questions the industry has never fully answered, making it clear she believes silence played a major role in how history was written. Photos of Diddy and Aaliyah together surfaced multiple times over the years, confirming she was present within elite industry circles. Many believe it was inside these spaces that Aaliyah was ultimately taken advantage of. Her early career placed her around powerful adults at a very young age, and critics argued the system failed to protect her when it mattered most. One of the most widely discussed situations involves R. Kelly, who entered a highly inappropriate relationship with Aaliyah while she was underage. Court records and reporting later revealed forged documents were allegedly used to stage a marriage ceremony while she was still a minor. Prosecutors stated this move was designed to prevent her from being compelled to testify in court. There were also allegations at the time that she became pregnant, though these claims were never proven. Over the years, reports and interviews have suggested other industry figures may have been aware of what was happening. Some insiders claim Diddy and Jay-Z knew about R. Kelly's behavior involving underage girls, including Aaliyah. These claims have never been legally confirmed, but continue to resurface whenever discussions about accountability in the music industry arises. Radio host Wendy Williams once addressed this topic in a past interview. She recalled conversations from that era. She stated that people in the studio would have seen a teenage Aaliyah present during recording sessions, and, listen to this, Wendy straight up questioned how anyone could pretend they didn't see what was right in front of them. In her view, there's no way people in those rooms missed what was happening, and staying quiet basically meant co-signing it. She also pressed the issue of how artists could keep working closely with R. Kelly on projects centered around women while claiming they knew nothing about his behavior. She made it clear she believed he needed help, but continuing to stand beside him raised serious questions about who turned a blind eye for what reason. Then, hold up, Jaguar Wright stepped in and poured even more fuel into the fire, claiming multiple insiders were part of questionable dynamics around Aaliyah. Her comments were framed as personal experiences.